Hey, hello. Today I have another nice topic to discuss. Let's switch into the topic. So it's TCP TLS. So most of my friends have some doubt in this particular topic because like they are a bit confused. What is TCP? What is TLS? How it really work? So I thought of okay, let's do some small research and also try to understand how it works. So yeah, just jump into the information, and uh, if you find something like I'm saying wrong, just put a comment below. So that means like we are both are communicating and we are correcting ourselves. So that's good. So just put a comment below and let me know if I'm saying something wrong. Okay, to start with the topic, this topic is something very close to the communication between two computers. So if one computer want to talk to another computer, usually there should be some protocol or some technology involved in it, right? Mm, so the first thing which need is there should be some medium to communicate. Like it should be connected through wires or it should connected through wireless. So there is something to be there. So the people worked on it in earlier days and they already created some layers, so which is called as an OSI model. So physical layer, so that is a layer which in that layer that data is like in the form of raw bit streams which will go through a wire from one computer to another. So like that there are different layers. I don't want to step into each layer here. I am very interested in the layer 4, which is transport layer, and also I am interested in layer 5, 6, 7 because our topics stay in that particular area, that is TCP, TLS and HTTPS. And also I won't be saying a lot about TCP because that is a particular protocol which is built for the communication between two computers. So if a data is sent from here, the receiver should accept it and should acknowledge it. Then only the sender knows that okay, the data is received properly. Or it's not like broadcasting. It should be like you send something, you receive, you say okay, and you send something, you receive, and you say okay. So the communication between the two computers like stay alive and both knows okay, the transmitted data is reaching at the particular computer in the right way. Yeah. So that is a very, very high level explanation of TCP. So by till here you understood like it's all about communication between two systems. And TCP stay in the layer 4, which is the transport layer. So it's like a protocol, like I said, it's like something you have to follow when you are talking with each other. Like if I see a person, I will say hi, and the person also say hi. That's way the humans communicate, right? That's some kind of a protocol. Like that, machines also have a protocol. That's TCP. We also have UDP, but I'm not interested in talking about it. We just focus on TCP and TLS, more on TLS. And what is TLS? Probably of the communication, what we see now in our computers is TCP plus TLS. Even in internet, a lot of communication happens through that. So even though I talk to a new person or another person, I say hi and I start talking in English, and the other person also understand English and we both are talking. If a third person who is listening to our conversation can understand, if he knows English, can clearly understand what we both is talking about. But in the computer world, we don't like that. The third person is, let's think, is a hacker. He knows what we are sending through the wires, and if you are sending some important information, he can use it, which we don't want. So If I talk in a way he cannot understand, that's nice. That's what TLS means. So two computers talk to each other with a protocol, that is TCP, but after using the TCP protocol, the one layer above, it will talk in its own a special way, like an encrypted way. So only that two computers know what they are saying. A third person cannot identify or cannot understand what these two machines are talking about. So that's a layer above TCP. First you should know talking to each other, then you should know talking in a different way so the third person don't know it. And HTTPS is application layer. So if you want to talk between two web browsers through a website, what you're seeing, then it's called HTTP communication. And if the HTTP uses the below two technologies like TLS technology, then it is called as HTTPS. So that's it. So don't think more about it. So this is what TCP, TLS, and HTTPS. Don't worry, I'm not stopping here. I will go a little bit more deep. Just hold on. So to understand it, what I made for you is like I created a client and a server. First, we will make the client and server communicate to each other using TCP protocol without TLS. That is what the first diagram show here. And the second part is like the client and server talk to each other, but it use TCP and also, like I said, it use an TLS layer above it. So then let's see the third person. In these two contexts, the third person is Wireshark. So let's think Wireshark is listening to this communication and it's able to understand what these both are talking about. And if in this case Wireshark tries to listen to both the thing like client and server communication, then it won't be able to understand. I will show you with an experiment. So I written a script. I call it as like I just created two folders first, one with name with TLS and one with a name without TLS. So first let's go to the one without TLS. It have a server and a client Python script, and the server script is it's a simple Python script. It just listen to what client is saying, and also it just make a communication between the client and server. So it's just like a simple script. I can share this with you, and the client py also the same. So the interesting part here is not about like how I return these scripts. You can also get this script by just checking in internet. I can also share with you. But the interesting part is like if we run it and if we using a Wireshark, if I try to listen to the communication, do I get a message which these two things are communicating? And here, one thing to note is I am just using my laptop. So the communication is not happening between two computers. It's just happening within my computer. But don't worry, it's the same thing happens even though if I keep this, even though I run it from a different machine. So it's all same. Don't worry about that. Just look at like how the communication happens, and if I try to listen to it, I am able to read the message what they are sending. So that's a nice part to focus on. And like I said, I have a Wireshark installed in my laptop. So this is a Wireshark instance which is installed in my laptop, and I will start listening to the port TCP port 12345 because I am running my client and also the server in this particular port. So the both sends information, and I am just listening to the particular port what the information is happening between the both of them. Yeah. Okay, so let's run the script and see what happens. So So first what I will do is I will start capturing the packets, then I will run the script. So I started capturing uh, the packets, continue without saving. So it's just listening. I will keep this in the other screen for now, and let me run the server Python. Yeah, so server started listening, and from client we will send some information. Okay, yeah, and if I take the look into the Wireshark, I can see that some packets are captured, so I can stop it because I already captured the things which I need, so I don't want to do anything more. And look at the Wireshark packet, what it captured. You can see the protocol is just TCP. So like I said, the client and server is using TCP protocol to communicate, nothing else. And using a Wireshark, we captured all the packets which is sent between these two components, or like two parts, like client and server. And the interesting part is if I try to go to the analyze and follow, and I just follow the TCP stream, I can see the message. So, hey from client, let's send some secret message between us. Hi from server, let's discuss something. So I can see what information these both are sending. So if I send some password, I can easily, as a third person, I can easily understand what I sent in the network. So this is pretty dangerous, right? So that's why we are using the TLS. So let's go to the next part, and I will move this to the screen. Yeah, so that is with TLS. So here we are using the TLS to encrypt the data which sent between the server and the client. And for that we have to use some certificates. That's why you can see I created some certificates here, server.crt, and also with its key, private key. So this is like a public key, this is like a private key. Okay, now if I send the information, so the server will send, the server will say hello from server, that's a great idea, let's discuss something. And the client also says hi from client, let's send some secret message between us. Okay, so these are the two information which they communicates. And using the Wireshark, let's try to capture the packets. So now we are doing this part. Okay, you can see a public key, private key sitting with server, and we are using TLS to do that, and Wireshark to capture the packet between these two. So let's send the script. Python server script, Python client, and also I will TCP. Yeah, so I already started capturing the packets, and let's see. And this also runs in 1, 2, 3, 4 port. So let's see how it looks like. Let's start the server, the client. Yes. Oh, it's not able to find the any packets. Oh yeah. There's something. Let me run it one more time. Let me check. I am running the correct scripts. Okay. So sometimes I see Wireshark unable to capture the frames. So let's run. Sure. I think it's like a demo effect. Ah, I know what I did wrong. Oh, 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 oh. What I did wrong is I didn't press this filter. I just selected this particular port and I didn't press this button. So thing is like it was not able to filter out which I really need. So now it captured the communication between the server and the client. But here you can see it's not only TCP, it's also TCP and also you can see TLS. Yeah. And the interesting part is if you try to do a follow TCP streams, it's something you are not able to read it. It's some other language because the information which sent between these two server and client is completely encrypted. We cannot, as a third person, cannot read the information which sent between two this client and the server. So that what a TLS is doing in practical. So let's discuss in theory how TLS works, how TLS achieve to encrypt this data. Yeah. So the important part here is what is the actual difference you see in both? The actual difference is like it is using a public key and a private key in the server side. So that is one thing which enables TLS. So let's go step by step. So when you enable TLS and if you start using TLS way of communication, as a user in the server side, you have to provide the server certificate. The server certificate is the one which is used to encrypt or which is used for the TLS communication. How? I will show you. So what it is happening now is when you do a communication between a client and the server, so the server is listening and first the client will contact server and what server is doing is okay, I got some ping from one of the client. As a server, I will give the first step. What I will do is I will provide my public key. So the server will send the public key to the client through the network, and once it is received by the client is doing like it will receive the public key and also it will create a symmetric key in that machine, and the symmetric key plus the public key, it will create a encrypted information. I just mentioned encrypted data. It's like encrypted. So that I will send to the through the network. So client send back some encrypted information to the server and server just receives it, and what it is doing is, oh, I just received it and it's like encrypted. I have to decrypt it. How I can decrypt? I can decrypt it with my private key. So the server have a public key plus private key. The server first provided the public key. Now it received something encrypted, and to decrypt it, it use its private key. So the server use its private key and decode or like unencrypt it and get the symmetric key out of it. Now both the client and the server have the symmetric key. Yeah. Using this symmetric key, the other data exchange happens. So the using the symmetry key, the remaining communication is like encrypted, and that encrypted data a third person cannot decrypt because the third person don't have a symmetry key with him or with that machine. So that's in this part of this communication also called a symmetric encryption. And yeah, so this is how the TLS worked. So this is the reason why I am not able to see or I am not able to read this particular message, because the real message is encrypted using symmetry key, and the symmetry key, Wireshark don't know the symmetry key, so that's why it don't know to decrypt the information. So this is the beautiful technology they use in most of the communication. Wherever you look, this TLS communication is used, and if it is combined with the HTTP, and yeah, if you hit google.com, and all the communication from or what all things you search in the Google is going through your from your computer to the internet and coming back, then some information also is coming back, but all those information is encrypted because it is encrypted using a symmetry key that you and the Google server knows, no one else. So that's how it works. So I think this small experiment helped you to understand much more about how communication happens between two machines or a client server. And if you wanted to make sure it is encrypted, you have to use certificate, and which certificate? Server certificate. And also you understood how the server certificate encrypts the communication between server and client. So yeah, that's what I want to share today with you. I hope it was clear, but yeah, if you have some doubts, or you can comment below. And also, if I'm saying something wrong and you think like this is not the way it is working, oh yeah, you can just comment. I will delete, or like I will make another video with the proper way. But I believe this is how it works. So yeah, that's it. I hope this information is useful, and see you in next video. Bye.